back to Trojans Live. We've got a full stage for you. Jordan Moore, John Jackson, Justin Suh, the #2 golfer in the country. He was #1 really the whole season, and then we finally get you on the show, and you went from #1 to #2. I was so excited to introduce you as the #1 golfer in the country, but #2 is pretty good, and you still have a chance to take home the big prizes at the end, and, of course, his head coach, Chris Zambri. Let me give you an idea how good Justin has been this year. 4-time winner already. And his stroke average, I've got you, well, I don't think this is updated to the last tournament, but you were at 68.87, and that is on pace to shatter the school record that was set by a pretty good golfer named Jamie Lovemark, who's out there crushing on the PGA Tour right now. Welcome to the show. Justin, what has clicked for you that you've really found a groove and dominated college golf this season?
For me, it was kind of how my practice gradually progressed. In the beginning, freshman year, Coach Zambri and Coach Justin, they kind of guided me along in what they thought would make me the best golfer I could be. For me, like my first tournament, it was a rough one. I mean, it was tough conditions. It was tough competition. I kind of learned from that first tournament what it took and how good the guys were in college. And coming back from that, Coach Zambri and at the time, Coach Golding, they kind of guided me and showing me, like, you got to get better in this area, this area, this area. And for me, I'm kind of a planner, so for me it was kind of a way to get back and realize I'm not as good as I thought I was coming in. And from that point, it was just kind of a progression to just become the golfer I am today.
You know, Coach, you also talk about interesting your thoughts on that process as well. It has gone for Justin in particular, because he's right. He was a talented golfer. I mean, he wouldn't be here if he wasn't talented, but it's the molding of that talent. When you saw him initially and where you from then to now, what has been the most important part of it that you felt has really helped him the most?
He was a great golfer when he came in, and he's downplaying that. He was incredible. He played in 4 straight U.S. Junior Amateurs, which you have to qualify every year. So we knew he had an amazing competitor coming to play for us, and he just had a couple things that we thought needed to change. And he to get technical, he hit the ball maybe a little low with some of his clubs, and not only did it make it tough to score with those clubs, but it kind of carried over into other parts of his game. And so he's always been a nice putter. He's become a much better short gamer, chipper, bunker player. But he, in a nutshell, Justin's just a hard worker, and so, it's nice of him to give us some credit. But in the end, it comes down to showing up and working your tail off, and he's done that. So,
like most sports fans, I spent a lot of time watching golf this past weekend. Doesn't get much better than watching the Masters. And I saw this clip that maybe I'd seen before, but had forgotten about, where they asked Bubba Watson when he won the Masters, is this a dream come true? And he said, I'd never let my dreams get that far. He never even thought about that. I'm wondering, when you watch something like the Masters, do you envision yourself out there, sooner? As some of these guys that are winning, they're all in their early and mid-20s now. Do you envision yourself out there, back 9 at Augusta, and making those dreams come true?
Of course. I mean, growing up, that's what you practice to become and play in that stage. And for me, I grew up competing with my sister, watching golf with my dad, and I grew up watching the Masters. And at that level, that's something you vision yourself at practice every time. For me, that's always been a goal of mine, to just compete with the best guys out there, and it'll be definitely one of the happiest moments of my life to be in that stage.
And I saw you list Tiger as the one guy that you'd love to play with. How important was he? I mean, it just seems like so many of these young guys grew up and he changed their perception of the whole sport.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I grew up watching Tiger compete, and when I grew up playing junior golf, I remember watching Tiger Woods videos on YouTube, and I would watch his celebrations, and I would want a putt on 18, no matter what it was for. I would want a putt so I can do that same celebration.
Get that fist pump
in. Get that fist pump in, and I guess I was practicing more of that than what I should have been watching in the first place. But no, he's definitely had a big influence in my golf career, and it's amazing what he's done to the game of golf.
A lot of it with golf is about nerves and being able to control yourself. You've been on a lot of big tournaments. You've won a lot of big tournaments. Mindset. How much has that been a development since you've come to USC in terms of getting to where you're at now? Of course, it'll continue to improve. but in terms of a mindset towards the game of golf, because, you know, I'm not a good golfer, but I do play golf, and it's all mental, right?
It's all mental, yeah.
And so, but I want you to talk about that, being an advanced golfer, you know, in terms of the mentality of the game and how much you progress in that area.
Like I said, it's also a progression from high school into college. In high school, it was more about competing with just one or two guys. Those are the guys that you want to beat. Those are the guys who are going to be out there at the end of the 54 hole or at the end of the competition. But in college, you're competing against so many guys who have the potential to win the tournament. And from that point, you got to change your mindset to not only focus on just beating one guy, but beating the whole field. And from beating the whole field, you got to change that perspective to just playing your best on the golf course. And I think that's what I progressed into with our sports psychologist, Kevin Sverduke. We focus on how can I perform at the best ability that I can. And for me to perform, it would be just staying calm, staying present, staying focused on my game, and not worrying about the rest of those guys.
That's where I went wrong. I don't have a psychologist.
Coach, you know, one of the reasons we have you guys up here is because USC is hosting the Pac12 Championships, Rolling Hills Country Club, April 23 to 25. And that's a big opportunity for Justin, all the guys on your team, and then also NCAAs after that. And I just wanted to ask you about peaking at the right time, because golf's a little different than most individual sports, and that the best player doesn't always dominate every week. So how do you get a player like Justin to make sure that he's at his best when the biggest prizes are there to be won?
I think a lot of it's just assessment of where they are today. You know, even as great a year as Justin's had, he's had a little peak in the little valley. And so the valleys are just a great way to get yourself focused back on the things that have helped you play great in the past. You know, we have Pac-12 is a six-man event. We think we've got a lot of guys playing well right now. We have a kid, Kyle Supa, who had a real peak, and then he had a valley, and now he's coming back. And so we think we have a real good opportunity to go out and win a Pac-12 title. We've never won the Pac-12. We've never won a Pac-12. We won plenty of Pac-10s. I think we won 19 or 21 of them, but we've never won a Pac-12 title. And so we're looking forward to it. We're at Rolling Hills Country Club. Beautiful golf course, really nice. I think it fits our team pretty well, and I think we have a real shot. And on a side note, there's a few guys in the conference who are playing incredible golf, one of which is Justin Suh, another one, a kid named Colin Marikawa, and another kid named Norman Jiang, and three kids who will be playing the tour someday for years and years, and they're all battling it out for Player of the Year honors in the conference. And so, he knows how to breathe really well, so I'm not putting anything extra on him here.
A lot of motivation.
Yeah, Dr. Sverduke has taught him well, and so. But anyways, it'll be an interesting week.
April 23 to 25, Rolling Hills Country Club. Boy, it's beautiful down there. Get out there and support the Trojans. Thank you to Coach Zambri and Justin Suh. JJ Scouting Report is next on Trojans Live.